for Cure, our 9th annual event. I want to thank you very much. We've been working hard, and I want to take this time to introduce our co-founder and president of Cinderella Kids, who does all the hard work keeping this charity going. She deserves a big round of applause. So let's give it up for Sonia Cinderella, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hello. Last year I saw myself, I looked like I came up and I was, welcome, welcome, welcome. I said, I'm not going to do that again because my head was going like this. But this is a labor of love. I thank each of you for coming out. What can I say? I give God all the glory. All the glory. God, He has allowed us to do this yet again for the 9th year, and it depends on how you're counting. Some may say 8 years, because we started in 2011. But we're going to say 9 years. We started out with a summer series, a conversation. This was to introduce what we thought was the best way to honor our mother. And it was a wonderful Italian restaurant on Connecticut Avenue upstairs. I don't know if anyone was here that came. And we did it for the whole series. The season summer series. And then 2012 was our official Comedy for Cure event, which was held at the Riot Act, downtown DC. Anyone was there? No? It's okay. That's right, Auntie Monks was there. Guys, give my Auntie Monks a round of applause. So happy to see her. Didn't think she was gonna make it. She has been to every Cinderella Cares Comedy for Cure. My Auntie Monks is not my biological aunt, but that was my mom's best friend. And she helped raise me, so she's my Auntie Monks. Okay? All right. So I kind of wrote out some stuff, but I want to do a little housekeeping first. So you guys know where things are. The bathroom is to your right over here. Go out the door, and it's to your right. The bar is open. You guys got a complimentary drink ticket, but everything else is $5. So we want to be empty when we leave here, right? I don't want to lift anything back. All right, we have complimentary hors d'oeuvres. There's jerk chicken back there, dinner rolls, wonderful salad, Jamaican patties, beef and vegetables for those who are not carnivore eaters, vegetarians. We have a wonderful dessert table, please. And sometimes you can just mingle back and go help yourself, right? So that's that. What else I want to tell you guys? We always have our silent auction. They're in the back. Please go back and make your bid. We don't want to take anything back with us, right? This is a fundraiser, right? We want money, right? Money, 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 and more money. Okay, wonderful. Let's see what else I need to say. Okay, so I want to give a special shout out to all the 2019 sponsors and community partners, the comedians who come every year. This is a wonderful lineup. You guys are going to have a good time after I leave the stage, and the folks who do the serious business of bringing awareness to lung cancer. So when we're done, you guys can start laughing and it'll be good. All right? So I want to give thanks, a shout out to Alpha Specialty Pharmacy. These guys right here, two brothers who are awesome. They work with the developmentally disabled population, making sure they have all their drugs. I've known this Fireborse since 2013, and he has been supporting Cinderella Cares since then, and I'm so grateful. I want to give, yes, please. to support us in 2018. The brother and sister, I think both parents died from lung cancer, and they give a $50 gift certificate, and it's combined with a nice wine and a candle. Go big. It's one of the oldest seafood establishments in the DMV area, I think in this little area here, between Washington, D.C. and Maryland. How many people have eaten there? Where? Yeah. All right. Wegmans, who has been supporting us since 2017, they give a wonderful gift card, and I go shop till I drop, and I'm able to do what's out there. Okay? Fire Station, which is a place where we did 2 of our events there. Who came to Fire Station? Yay! And so they gave a gift certificate back there, so please go and bid. Tropicana, Jerk Chicken, our brother and his wife, they've been supporting us. New Reflections Therapeutic Services. Go find a therapist, guys. I'm one, and that's one right there. I work in her office. All right. If you need a therapist, that's it. Okay, Allstate Insurance will make sure that we're liable in this area here. If anything happens, don't fall, don't do anything like that, because, okay? But they're our support. And a big a round of applause for Montgomery County for what they do, allow charities to have events in this establishment. Every year we get a grant that supports us to be able to do what we do in this room. And one day I hope to have the grant and the business, right? Thank you so much. All right. So, I'm the speaker this year. And Kathy, is Kathy here? She's not here yet. Okay. And we have Mark. Let's say Bob, I'm sorry. Bob, a survivor who will come up and share his story. And of course, Lung Cancer Alliance. Okay, awesome. So this year's theme is raising the vibration on hope. And we wanted to talk about caregivers, okay? Caregivers are very important because when someone, a family member, a loved one, gets diagnosed with a disease, it's not just the individual. The family gets sick too, right? And when the individual passed on, like my mom did, we still need the caregivers to be involved. We need the caregivers to, lobby on the Hill, call their representatives, and ask them for help. One of the things about lung cancer is one of the least funded of all cancers. I think Lois, if you help me with the number, about 1% or 2% funded, but most of the money goes to other cancers, a lot goes to breast cancer. And so we need people, we need voices, caregivers, friends of family to call your constituents and representatives and ask them to fund lung cancer research, because that's the way we're going to save lives, right? Early detection, knowing about the disease. Cigarette is not the only thing, even though it is a high risk for getting lung cancer. It is not the only thing that causes lung cancer. And we don't know that. We don't know everything, and therefore we need research, right? There's things about gene therapy, knowing the type of gene that can help with treatment. So the only way to do that is through research. And so that's why we need the funding. The funding supports the research for all the researchers and the doctors who are on the front line, and they're testing this and testing that. It takes money. So call your representative. How many people are going to call their representative after tonight? That's a call to action, right? So statistics. And my paper's all in a different order than what I had it. But let me say this. 1 out of every 19 black women will be diagnosed with lung cancer this year. Okay? And 1 out of 20 will die from lung cancer this year. This year alone, over 228,000 people will be diagnosed with lung cancer. And of that, 111,000 will die from lung cancer. What is the problem with that? It's too many people. And the problem is that people think that lung cancer is a stigma. Oh, you chose to have lung cancer because you smoked a cigarette, whatever. But radon is a contributor to lung cancer. And how many people know that Maryland has a high radon level, which you guys should? You do know that. That's right. Not a lot of people know that. Now, one of the things that you're supposed to check in your house is your radon level, okay? Because people who have never smoked cigarette are being diagnosed with lung cancer. And there is a growing amount of young people that are being diagnosed with lung cancer who have never smoked, healthy. There's a doctor, her name is Dr. Sidney. I met her last year at one of the Lung Cancer Alliance Summit. Beautiful, beautiful doctor, young wife. Out of nowhere, healthy, ran, she looked at one of her x-rays, and because she was a doctor, she was able to see that there's something wrong with this. Lo and behold, she is in fourth stage, I think third or fourth stage lung cancer. 20-something years old. Why? We don't know. That's why we need the research, right? So, based on all of that, this is why we need your support. We need everyone talking about it. When you leave here, don't just like, okay, it's common for cure, yes, but keep your ears open. If you hear somebody saying something or there is information on your table, please don't leave it. Take it with you because it talks about risk factors, right? And so you want to know what the risk factors are. You want to be able to talk to your primary care doctor if there's something going on, because the truth is a lot of the physicians, lung cancer is not on their radar. And you go into your doctor's office and you do your annual visit and they ask you all this question, well, are you a former smoker? Have you ever smoked? How many packs per day? Did anyone blah, 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 blah. But what do they do with that information afterwards? Right? Nothing. Well, I don't know if they do nothing or they just collect it and put it in some sort of data thing that somebody, whatever. The point is, when you go to your doctor, if you have any symptoms, if you know anything, have that conversation. There's a screening called low-dose CT scan. That detects the disease at its lowest nodule, okay? An X-ray usually detects the disease when it's in its latter stage. That's what happened with my mom. My mom was a 5-year breast cancer survivor, and I won't cry, because I've been very emotional doing this particular season. Anyway, she was a 5-year breast cancer survivor, and she was taking her tamoxifen. She did the radiation, they did a lumpectomy, she did the radiation afterwards, and then they gave her this chemo in a pill, and she took it for 5 years. She stopped taking it in June of 2008, right after she came back from a retreat with Auntie Monks. And then in August of 2008, she was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it was third stage lung cancer B, okay? And she was going to the doctor, she was taking all these x-rays, and she had a dry cough, and sometimes hoarse. Sometimes she was fatigued. And we had no clue. As a family, we had no clue, right? Until, lo and behold, the diagnosis came. And even while, during that period of time, what shocked me was that her oncologist just, he went straight to the book. He said, I'm gonna do this, 6 months for this, 6 months for that, blah, 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 blah. But at no time did we receive any counseling. The family didn't receive any counseling. We only saw a counselor or a social worker when Mommy, they told her that she had to go home on palliative care and hospice. And that's when the social worker came. I don't believe that should. I believe once you're diagnosed, you should be triaged. You should have a triage of people. You should have your pulmonologist. You should have your counselors. All these team of people should be around you so that it could give you hope. And that's what this year's message is about, raising the vibration of hope. Okay? It takes a community to activate change. And we want to see change. We want to see more survivors. We have 1, 2, 3 survivors here. Can you guys stand, please? Michelle, you heard from Michelle last year. Lois Lane, my Lois Lane. You heard from her. They've been coming to Cinderella Cares now for a very long time, and today you're going to hear from Bob. Bob is going to share a little bit about his story, and I think I'm done. I had all these statistics, and I was very well prepared, but we just flow as it flows, right? So thank you guys for listening to me. I'm going to bring Bob up, and then after Bob, Lung Cancer Alliance, our community partner. We do everything, whatever lung cancer is doing, we're doing it with them. And I thank them because after my mom died, I said, well, who's out there? How can we be a part as a caregiver? How can we continue this making it better for another family? And I did my research and I found Lung Cancer Alliance in 2011, and I have not left them. We've been doing great things together. And something else I wanted to say, but it slipped my thought. Okay, that's it. But anyway, Lung Cancer Alliance is going to come up and tell you some great stuff that they're doing that everyone can be a part of. Okay? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. God bless you.
I am Bob Nicholas. I'm a stage 4 lung cancer survivor. Sonia used 2 terms that I think are absolutely critical. Hope and community. I was diagnosed Labor Day 2014. I had half of a lung, 3 ribs, other body parts removed. Over Christmas that year. In 2017, I was noticeably having trouble talking, putting words together in a way that might make sense. And I was diagnosed with having a lung cancer, golf ball-sized tumor in my left frontal lobe. So they took that out. And I'm here today. I like the word community because I think those of us who are lung cancer survivors, lung cancer patients, caregivers, healthcare professionals, and the folks that are here, we're part of a community of people that are going through a special ride in life. And because of that community, we're sustained. I would not be here today, in particular because of one very wonderful caregiver, and that's my wife, Terry Shuck. And if Terry would stand, please. Add to that a wonderful son, daughter-in-law, extended network of friends. I had a web page telling people what I was going through. I had great healthcare professionals. It was a community. And that community gave me hope. Anyone who's been diagnosed with something more than a cold knows that hope is one of the driving forces that help you get better and succeed. The community gives you hope in and of itself, whether it's something that you call up on your own in a gurney in an emergency room after a doctor has said, well, there's no good way to tell you this. You have lung cancer. You have to summon up personal hope. And as your spouse, as your family, as your friends, as your caregivers rise to the occasion, that continues to grow the hope that really not only sustains you, but drives you to fight what, as Sonia pointed out, is a disease that kills more than 400 people each day. Each day. I've lived 4 years and 8 months, and yes, we do track that. I've lived longer than 80% of all people that are diagnosed with lung cancer. That's tragic. Absolutely tragic. And in a country like ours, unnecessary. If we could get just a few of the billions of dollars that are spent every year in the federal budget to go for nothing more than lung cancer research, support for lung cancer screening so that we can diagnose people. I went through physical therapy for 3 months under the attentiveness of an orthopedic surgeon. And at the end of that, as my pain continued to grow, we went to the emergency room. That's where I got the lung cancer diagnosis. And then the research and the amount of resources that we could put into diagnosing, fighting, and curing this disease and supporting patients as well as caregivers, we could really make a huge dent. Just since I was diagnosed, drugs like Keytruda, genetic testing, all sorts of things have exponentially increased, and with more funding for research, we could really go a long way to helping to find a cure for this disease. So thank you all, and as Sonia said, we appreciate everything you're doing tonight, every contribution, every drink you buy, everything you buy at the back table, and thank you all for caring enough to be here tonight.
Yes.
It's quite bright up here. Hi, I'm Kristen. You've heard Lung Cancer Alliance mentioned a couple of times, and funny thing happened last week. We merged with another lung cancer organization, and so now we are the go-to foundation for lung cancer. We are the largest lung cancer patient advocacy organization in the world. And the reason we did that is for patients. We knew that we could double our impact, double our hope, double the opportunities by being together. So you could call us Lung Cancer Alliance if you want tonight, but tomorrow try to call us Go-To Foundation. So, but I wanted to thank Cinderella Cares so much, and Sonia for having us here this evening and for continuing to support our work over the years, which we feel is so critical to patients around the country, not just here in DC, but in rural Alabama, or in remote parts of Maine, or in New York City, where they deserve the same standard of care that everyone deserves in this country, and that's what we try to provide. So if you ever know of anyone, or you yourself find that you're facing a diagnosis, please know that we are 100% here for you and your families. And whether it is one-on-one support, you can pick up the phone at any time and give us a call, and we will walk you through everything that you need to know about your disease. And we will help you in those transitional points, and we will help you talk to your physicians. But we're also working, not just for you, but for your benefit. And so you've heard people talking about storming the hill. And so recently, actually, we've just reintroduced some really important legislation, particularly about women and lung cancer. Because most people don't know that lung cancer is actually the leading cause of cancer death for women. It actually outweighs breast, uterine, and ovarian combined. So we have a real public health imperative for women, a huge awareness building that we need to do for all of you out there, so that you realize also the risks that you face with lung cancer just as you face with other diseases. And so many people for so many years have turned a blind eye, as you've heard. So thank you again so much for being here, for being, as Bob said, for caring, because the more you know, the better. And that's what we want to do, is we want to raise awareness about this disease and the stigma that it faces and the myths that it faces, the misunderstandings that it faces. So some things that you can do when you find yourself walking home this evening, if you go to our website, you can have a template where you can write your representative. We'll do it, we basically did it for you, and we'll show you how to do that. And you can say, I want you to care about lung cancer, and that's a super easy thing for you to do. So I hope you'll be motivated, and after you have all of your laughs, you'll think about now what you can take with this information and what you can do to help others and help yourself. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great time tonight.
After I'm done, you guys can go and get some food, and then the comedy starts. They don't want y'all walking up and down and interrupting them on your set. That's a no-no. You'll get called out. Okay, so this little message is from a caregiver, and you heard his wife spoke last year, Dina and Roger Cook. So as the husband of a lung cancer survivor, my wife, who had 2 major surgeries in less than a year, I know there needs to be so much more done to accurately diagnose and treat this terrible disease. My wife's lung cancer, which was seen as something in her lung after an x-ray for pneumonia, took 10 months before surgery was recommended. This was way too long. Luckily, there was no treatment after her surgery, but obviously she had a tough road after her second diagnosis and surgery. The stigma of smoking has to stop. So many other diseases out there can be contributed to the lifestyle, but none carry the stigma that lung cancer carries. I have attended 5 LCA, now go-to, summits, and have gone to the Hill to see and talk with our representatives. It is helping, but not fast enough. We need to have a stronger and more aggressive approach. Too many young people, especially women, you've heard that, with no history of smoking or other risk factors are being diagnosed with stage 3 and 4 lung cancer. The medical profession is not even looking for lung cancer in these young people. This is wrong. And he closed by saying, somehow, some way, we need to be heard now. Thank you guys so much. You guys can go get something to eat. And don't forget, we got a 50-50 raffle going on, guys. I'm going to be coming around with my cousin. Where my cousin at? We need to get some 50-50 raffle going, okay? All right. Thank you.